A masterpiece is under orders to stay put.
It'd be tough for any 130-year-old to travel the world. After a 6-week restoration, experts in Amsterdam have determined Vincent van Gogh's Sunflowers has become too delicate to keep touring. The director of the Van Gogh Museum says the base and paint layers are sensitive to vibrations and changes in air humidity and temperature. Sunflowers will go back on display at the museum February 22nd under new, more gentle lighting. Another version, painted a year earlier in 1888, hangs in the National Gallery in London. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Adelaide, Australia has set a temperature record for any city on the continent, just below 116 Fahrenheit. The old record there dated back to 1939. An Adelaide hotel that promises free beer when the mercury tops 113 honored that. The place ran dry after 2 hours. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The station you hear everywhere.
Nuga Radio 92.7. 3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A pregnant woman hit by gunfire last night in an apparent drive-by shooting. The CPD says it happened on Anderson Avenue just after 11 p.m. last night. The Violent Crimes Bureau is still investigating. So far, no arrests have been made, and there's no word on the condition of the victim or the unborn child. Hamilton County Schools not in session today as fears of icy weather in the early morning hours prompted the shutdown. Schools in Grundy and Marion County, though, closed down for a different reason. There's been a mass absence due to illness. Many kids in the area have the flu, and they closed the schools down for the rest of the week. Hamilton County Schools, though, should be back in session tomorrow. And Willie Boyd, who was on the TBI's 10 Most Wanted list, is now behind bars. He was wanted on murder charges in connection to the killing of Jacob Moore, whose skeletal remains were found by hunters on Benton Mountain. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect decreasing clouds, breezy and chilly weather out there for your afternoon. Highs only 40 to 43. Tonight, a few passing clouds, lows near 25. For Friday, a colder day, even with sunshine. Highs stuck into the mid-30s. The lows by Saturday morning near 20. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Storm Team 12. She's meteorologist Azure 4.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Space, the final frontier.
Whether it's a man cave, she shed or office, L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales has your space. The perfect portable building just for you. L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales is a premier building authorized dealer. You tired of paying high storage fees, lack of security, and not having easy access to your stuff? Then L&K has the building just for you. Or if you're looking for a mini home or the perfect hunting cabin, L&K has the building that will convert perfectly. Free delivery up to 50 miles. No credit checks and low monthly payments. Call L&K today at 706-858-0077. 706-858-0077. On Facebook, search L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales. 3532 Lakeview Drive, Rossville, Georgia. L&K's featured storage unit this month is a center cabin 12x32, featuring 15% off. L&K Buildings and Trailer Sales. Call 706-858-0077.
I'm the dude. You know, that or his dudeness, Duder, or El Duderino, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Good morning. Beautiful people here in the city of Chattanooga. It's your girl Marie Mott with the Marie Mott Show. Y'all know what it is. I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall to the mayor's office. Can't leave out the police department. From the valley low to the mountaintop, giving you guys the bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Good morning. Oh my, good morning. It is a beautiful day here in the city of Chattanooga. Why? Because I'm alive. Even though it's cold as hell outside. And some of y'all are like, oh, the children are home with us because, you know, school just be letting out now for anything. They just be letting children out of school for anything now. Oh, it's a germ going around. You know what? They used to make us stronger. Like, what is going on? I'm just talking, man. I feel so sad for everybody who could not get a babysitter. And now you had to take off work to be home with the babies. But enjoy it. Enjoy it. Man, I'm super excited when I don't have to be by myself on the Marie Mott Show, when I have an opportunity to have people on. And then, I feel old when I say young man, but he's young enough to be my younger brother. And he was saying yes, ma'am, when he came in. And I'm just like, Lord, am I getting that old? Oh man. But just being a very, very nice young man. I'm so excited to introduce to my listeners, introduce to some of you probably already know who he is because he was on the Milk Drop singing with just a guitarist. Who does that now? Right?
Right.
I'm so excited to have Prince T with me today. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm glad to be on.
Man, thank you for coming on. And shout out to Terrence Westfield for being your manager. He came on the show. T Westfield, I hope you're watching. I love you, bro. Man, I'm so excited. T Westfield manages Suevo as well, who is blowing up.
Right.
And so you the next one. You are next.
We got a nice little team going. We all just supporting each other, trying to grind.
What? And people say that people in Chattanooga don't do that.
Hey,
it ain't the truth, is it?
We got to start the day.
That's right. I'm so proud of you. Like, I loved seeing the Milk Drop, you singing.
Right.
Baby, you are talented.
I appreciate the love.
You're welcome. What in the world got you into music?
Well, I started out, I was a football player. I played for Chattanooga Christian School. Mm-hmm. And so it just didn't work out. I ended up getting hurt my sophomore year. And so after that, I was like, I kind of went through a depressed stage in my life. I didn't know really what to do because I found so much in football and it was just an outlet, which it is to a lot of people. And so some was like, my mom was telling me, my grandparents were telling me, they was like, you got another gift. You was a good athlete, but that's not the only gift that God has given you. So after that, I kind of decided, I always sung and stuff like that. But then I was like, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna use it and go further with it. And I think that me losing football was kind of God showing me that, hey, it's something else I want you to do in your life. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I want to use the gift that God has given me to, inspire other people and connect with other people. So
absolutely. Music is a very, very large responsibility,
right?
Because you have the ability to impact people either negatively or positively by what you're saying,
right?
And so, and then for people in the African American culture, music for us is telling a story,
right?
Or a poem that is with a musical basis of getting people an insight. The things that we have lived, seen, and experienced. Mm-hmm. And so, first of all, it's just amazing to not only see young people taking art, because music is art, taking art seriously, but it's also a beautiful thing to see you in a very unique lane, which is like old school ish. I'm not gonna totally box you, but old school ish R&B with a band backing. Like, folks, people don't do that enough. Like being a musician and a singer myself, like growing up in church singing and choir, that's like one thing that you get in church. It's like, it's not just the choir, but you got the whole band.
Everybody in there.
Right.
Everybody in there.
And everybody generally like takes it so serious.
Right.
And to see like you as a younger, I'm not going to say you young, but a younger man being in your own lane, how does it feel creating like your own lane in music and not maybe succumbing to like the peer pressure of trying to sound like everybody else?
Well, see, when I started off doing music, it was like kind of more of that's how it was. It was like I was trying to make these little rap songs and stuff, and it was catchy. And what I'm saying? I had a lot of people like, oh man, this is hard. I like this. But then, I was talking with my dad and stuff, and he was telling me, he was like, son, he was like, you got an old sounding voice. And he was like, use it. You know what I'm saying? People will connect with it. He was like, just be different, be yourself. You don't have to, do it everybody. You don't have to go with the flow. And I feel like when everybody realized that you don't have to go with the flow, that you can create, like you said, your own lane. I feel like that's where you get that unique style from. And that's where you can be more confident in yourself. And that's really where I found more confidence in myself is when I start realizing, hey, I'm gonna use my sound. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do what other people are doing. So that's kind of, you know what I'm saying, where I stand with that. So.
And your family is supportive of
you
doing music.
Oh yeah.
Folks, I continue to say that this is so imperative. Every person that I've had come up here, and that's a beautiful thing to see, is that every person who's come up here, whether it's been in business or career or even artistry, they always start with my family imparted something into me, or my family has supported me.
For sure.
And that, folks, so for you, the listener, when your child or your niece or your nephew or your grandchild comes to you and they have this idea about something that they want to do, support them.
Right.
Pour into them. Encourage them to be unique, because that's what we all are. We're all different. Right. You know, there's 1,000 people on the radio, but there's nobody like me.
Right.
And I love that, you know, being yourself draws people to you. While as, you know, if I turn on the radio, and this is just me, if I turn on the radio and I'm like, I can't tell the difference between you, this person, that person, I'm probably not going to listen to none of them.
Right.
And then I'm certainly not going to take my hard-earned dollars.
It's a lot of that going
and
on
patronize you, right? Because I want to spend my money on something that I feel like somebody really took their time developing and crafting something before they gave it to the public.
Right. And it's a lot of that I see in far as music. It's a lot of that mockery that I see going on. Like you got like Migos. It's a lot of people that's coming behind them that's kind of taking that little flow. It's a you know, singers. I've seen some couple of beefs out there with singers. Still in Mott. I remember it was a while ago. Tory Lanez and who was it? Was it Travis Scott?
It was Tory Lanez and
I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody. I remember there was something about that where they got into it and he was like, "Hey, you stealing my flow." Da, 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 da. Well, then I also think about it. I mean, both artists kind of use a lot of auto tune. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like I feel like that old school music, that old school vibe is what brings that light into the world. I just feel like when you look at like Tyler Perry movies, what do you hear a lot of? Old school music.
Al Green.
Stuff like Al Green.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Right. And I just feel like that music right there just can bring when you're having a bad day, music like that'll make you feel so much, you know, warmth in your heart. And so like that's the kind of what I'm trying to bring into the, you know what I'm saying, into the community is when people hear my music, I just want them to feel, you know, some love. Cause I know there's a lot of people out there that's not really getting love at home or getting that. And so when they turn on my song out, at least for however long they listen to me, I want them to feel a little something from inside their hearts from me. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So, how in the world did you end up getting a band together behind you? Because it's one thing to like launch your career,
right?
But then to get other people and say, "Yo, like we got to do this like as a collaborative effort." That's dope.
Actually, I started out trying to work with a bunch of people, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, things get in the way of that. Ego. Some people have like family issues, and sometimes it just don't work out. And so the first puzzle piece to the puzzle was my girlfriend. She introduced me to one of her friends that she went to high school with. He played the guitar. And so we ended up talking, his name is Marche. He plays pretty much the lead guitar. And he was like, you know what I'm saying, we was talking one day. He was like, "Man, you can sing." He was like, "Man, I like playing the guitar." And he was like, "I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm still trying to get good at it, you know what I'm saying, and grow." And I said when he said that really stuck with me, because I was like, me as a singer, I don't feel like I'm the best. And I always feel like when you got people around you that's willing to grow, that means a lot, because you always want to be humble. And so that kind of, when I met him, we kind of got together, and ever since then we was working. Then I actually was at a little party, and I met my friend Connor, who plays the bass. He kept hitting me up. He was like, "Hey man, you know," when I met him at a party, and he was just like, I ended up getting his Snapchat, and he hit me up. He be like, where's the next party, man? And so I just text him the party, you know what I'm saying? Then one day I ended up talking to him and I was like, man, what you do? You know what I'm saying? What do you enjoy doing? He was like, oh, I like playing the bass. I was in a little band, you know what I'm saying, in school, da 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 da. And I was like, you know what? We should chill one day. He ended up bringing this bass, me and Marche. It was just us, you know what I'm saying? And we was just jamming. And then I met the Marche brought me up to a guy named Peter Glass. He plays the piano very smooth with it, and we ended up all piecing it together and making some original music, and we still doing it.
Hold up, original music,
original
from scratch.
Wow, from scratch.
And what is that process like? Being able to do that, and why do you feel that it's important to? Because of course we live in an age where, of course, you can just buy a beat, download it,
right,
and then lay a track. But to do this from scratch, where you legitimately have to organize with other people and make it work, what is that process like?
Sometimes it can be very challenging and difficult, but that's the fun part. Okay. Because I'm doing it with people that I care about and friends. So it that kind of sometimes take away that stress. That okay, I'm doing this with friends, and I know I got people that actually willing to put in the work and time and effort with me. Because since day one, they've all added stuff and put in work just as much as I have. And I actually was reading something in the I was reading my Bible, you know what I'm saying? Not to be too, spiritual, but from the beginning of time, we was created to work together. Everybody was created to work together, you know what I'm saying? So, like Adam and Eve, they was put on this earth to work together. It's plenty of stories in the Bible that goes back to teamwork, and that's all. That's like one of my group messages is teamwork make the dream work. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in that. You know what I'm saying? And when I say team, I put a little e at the end of team. That me, because that small me means myself go inside the team. And the team, you get what I'm saying? If you can get where I'm going with that,
I get
and,
you.
and that
Some preacher is gonna steal that.
right. I always capitalize the T, E, and the A and the M, and then put a small little E at the end, because myself is supposed to go into the team. You're supposed to put your team before yourself, and so that's a big part of us.
20 years old and dropping gems. I hope you guys are picking them up. Don't step over them. So you got your band together, man. And how long did this process take? Because you said that you kind of started music seriously like a year ago.
Yeah. This process really started I say the beginning of like school is when this kind of took place, when UTC first started school, because Marche was at UTC, Peter, he's at UTC, and Connor is at UTC.
Okay.
And so that's kind of when we started, and that's how I link with all them, is through connecting at UTC. And so yeah.
And what is your goal with this music? How big do you want you and your team to be? Like, where are the places that you close your eyes and you see yourself singing at and being at and traveling to?
Like we gotta I can't forget my guy Skip.
Okay.
He's actually a guy, he's a mentor too. He's actually a part of this, and he makes music with me. He raps and stuff like that. But we got a song. I got a song with Skip, and it's called Can't Stop. And it say we can't stop, no, not right now. And that's pretty much our focus. It's like it don't matter what's put in front of us, we can't stop. Any opportunity that we get to shine and use our light, we're not gonna stop, and we're gonna take that opportunity and make it the best out of it. I don't care if I perform in front of 2 people, in front of 2,000 people. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I just enjoy singing. And so that's kind of how I am. Wherever I can go with it, that's where I'm gonna go. And so like that song said, I can't stop right now, you know.
Awesome. 20. So how can people, because I got to do a commercial break where people know how to follow you.
Right.
So how can people follow you? How can they support your music?
I have a Instagram, Facebook. My Facebook is TJ Smith, Roman numeral Roman numeral 3. So TJ Smith the third. My Instagram is actually TJ Smith the third also, but it's TJ Smith the number 3 and then RD.
Okay.
So TJ Smith the third on both of those, and that probably be the best way to. And if anybody need to contact me, like I said, TK. Anybody, a lot of people know who TK is, so that's the guy to go to as far as getting in contact with me.
Okay.
So.
And so for those of you guys who got to shout out the Milk Drop.
Right.
They had you on there.
Yes,
shout out to the Milk Drop.
Yes.
Always connecting people in the city. And I love what they're doing as far as musical artists concerned.
Right.
Because they are, it's one thing for people to hear you, but it's another thing for people to see you.
Right.
So shout out to
Sammy's doing a great job with that.
The Milk Drop. And so you had an opportunity to go on there and sing, did you not?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
How did that feel?
I always get a little nervous getting in front of a camera because it's just something I'm not, I'm getting comfortable with it, getting, used to it. And, but it's always, like I said, I'm ready. So it was just like, Sammy was like, whenever you're ready, just hit me up.
Okay.
And I get you on. And I hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm ready.
Okay.
And he was like, let's do it. So it also made me good that he was, really willing to help me out and show me the steps through that process. So, it took a lot of, a lot of that weight off my shoulders. So, yeah.
And what did you sing, just for the people who maybe have not checked that out?
I did 3 songs. I did 2 originals. I did a song by Al Green, Love and Happiness. When Somebody Loves You Back, Teddy Pendergrass, and I did an original song called Trip. And so I did those 3 songs, which one of those videos have already dropped, and the others will be coming soon. So.
Okay. So if you have not checked that out, please go see this. It was just you and your guitarist.
Right.
Man, that is a beautiful thing. No tracks, just you and the main man. Like Al Green did on Soul Train. Right. So that is, I listened to it. I was like, yes. And you would just sit there so chill.
Right. I just be
like you had done it like 1,000 times before. You're a natural.
Hey, it's just like practice. When you get up in front of people and perform, it's just like practice. It's just like when me and my stage just sit there and practice. I just like to feel comfortable, and I like people to feel comfortable when they come and watch me.
See, what you just said is very, very important. You don't wake up and just get there.
Right.
You have to practice. You have to work. It requires you taking your things seriously. And in those times where it's nobody watching,
that's
right.
That
part right there when sometimes you don't feel like, oh man, I got the song I got to finish, but I'm tired.
Right. That's when you gotta. That's when you gotta dig.
That's the success part right there.
Right.
That people don't see. Folks, I just want to tell you, you don't wake up being a success. You got to work at being a success.
Right.
And in those secret times, those down times when you're at home, maximize your time, work on your art, work on your craft, even if it's just something as simple as writing, and that can be for anything. Writing down a plan, writing down something, bouncing ideas off of your comrades.
Right.
That's how like the best ideas and the best things come out of you. Sometimes just sitting down with people and you just talking.
Just talking. Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes we don't even pick up our instruments, or I might not even hit a note. It might just be conversation. And sometimes that's when you get ideas. You know what I'm saying? And so
you have an event coming up on Sunday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tell the people about that before we close out.
We have an event that's going to be at Kay's Tavern. Doors will open at 6. And it's pretty much it'll be our first opening show. And we're just going to do some original music. We do a few, cover songs, but it's basically focused on our original music. And we just want everybody to come out and show their support.
All right. You heard him here. Prince T, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on and talk to my listener. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
And I can't wait to see you blow up, brother.
I appreciate the love and support.
Y'all know what it is. Marine Mott with the Marine Mott Show. I love you guys. Stay tuned for the second half of the segment.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
All charges are dropped against Federico Wolf, the man who was punched repeatedly by a Chattanooga police officer during a traffic stop. He was pulled over because the officer said he was going 12 miles over the speed limit. Then they said he was throwing bags of drugs out of his car. Those drug charges were dropped, along with a resisting arrest charge. The city council and the community has called for the firing of Officer Benjamin Piazza. A Cleveland woman was found guilty of second-degree murder in the slaying of her husband. District Attorney Steve Crump informed the press of Miranda Cheatham's conviction. Her sentencing hearing is set for April. Back in 2016, policemen found James Cheatham shot to death in his home. A Wednesday afternoon fire left the family and their dogs homeless. The fire broke out on Lightfoot Mill Road from a kitchen. Firemen were able to contain the fire to just the one room, but the house was left uninhabitable. The Red Cross has stepped in to help. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Did you know that mortgage rates are at 9-month lows? Listen up, y'all. Ben Phillips, Home Rate Mortgage, right here in Chattanooga, 805-9100. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money, pick that cell phone up right now, 805-9100. With rates at 9-month lows, your home purchasing power just went up $28,000. If you were able to buy a $225,000 home, now you can buy a $250,000 home for the exact same payment. That's $250,000. The Jones family had been house hunting for months, and with the timing of these low rates, they were able to get into the home of their dreams. It's easy, and you can do it too. Call 805-9100. It just takes 10 minutes, and this phone number, 805-9100 or homeratemortgage.com.
Turn a house into a home rate mortgage.
By now, you'd normally hear a kicker intro bed and me telling you why you need to buy a car or truck. This is not that ad. I want to share with you the great experience that we've had at Z Motors. When Nooga Radio was looking for a Hummer, I went to Z Motors. They have over 100 vehicles on the lot, and Phil was happy to spend all the time necessary with me, point me in the right direction. If you're looking for a Jeep Wrangler, hey, you'll find more Jeep Wranglers there than anywhere in Chattanooga. Pre-owned cars, a slew of Audis, BMWs, from a 1934 Ford truck to a 2017 Volt, a Volkswagen Jetta, and a 2018 Tundra. Plus, they can find any vehicle you're looking for. You're not going to find a big fancy showroom. See, those costs at the big dealerships are added to your purchase price. You want to call Philip at 423-240-8869. That's 240-8869. On Facebook, just search Philip Clark, Sales Manager for Z Motors. It's Philip Clark, Sales Manager for Z Motors. Z Motors. They're right on the corner of Hickory Valley and Shellerford Road, in front of Chattanooga Wine and Spirits. And don't forget to say hi to Rhonda, the pretty McCall at the front desk.
Expect decreasing clouds, breezy and chilly weather out there for your afternoon. Highs only 40 to 43. Tonight, a few passing clouds, lows near 25. For Friday, a colder day, even with sunshine, highs stuck into the mid-30s. The lows by Saturday morning near 20. Tired of the pressures and hassles of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette, or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Storm Team 12. She's your all-shit master for
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Y'all know what it is. Marine Mott with the Marine Mott Show. Second half of the segment. And we got a lot to talk about. Why? Because I think the people in power want to try to get us off our game. And I'm going to explain why. You know, first of all, and I do have to say, first of all, if anything happens, as far as atrocities in the city of Chattanooga, if things change, it is not due to an organization. It is the praise is always due to the people. Now, I'm going to have to correct Zach Peterson, and he's my comrade as far as reporting goes. But don't give praise to the NAACP about they are the reason that the district attorney dismissed the charges against a man beaten
in police custody. Quite the contrary, give credit to the people that we're getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. We have to ask ourselves some real questions. And I mean this sincerely, because if we're not asking ourselves real questions, then we're going to get duped. And I feel like anytime you begin to press a government to do more than reform, I'm tired of that word. I'm tired of hearing that word. I'm tired of reading that word, seeing that word, reform. Because rarely does that mean systemic change. To me, reform is the 21st century word of accepting tyranny with a handshake and a smile. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because if the only thing that the district attorney is going to do is call for an investigation into this police officer, meanwhile, in doing my digging as an investigative journalist, I submitted open records requests, which any citizen has the right to do in the state of Tennessee. I requested settlements from the last 5 years. That's as far as I went back, 5 years. How many settlements has the city of Chattanooga settled? And every last one of them had an average of 5 to 6 officers for every infraction against a civilian. There were 11 cases. There were some cases that had 7 to 8 officers that had brutalized or beaten, lied on, tampered with a civilian and paid out some form of money on behalf of the city of Chattanooga in order to keep them quiet. Some of them went even as far as to take issues to court. And even still, for people like Chris Tate and Adam Tatum, who were beaten by Officer Michael Wanger, who was not only promoted, but now is responsible for solving homicides, he was never fired, even though there was video evidence to show that he beat several men in police custody. And so if it continues to be a situation to where not only do we see these instances in real time, but then we look at body cam footage, jail footage, all sorts of footage to support, it's ridiculous to hear people sometimes say, well, we need to see what happened before the instance of a brutalization or a murder. No, we do not. No matter what crime you are accused of, your constitutional right, your civil right, and more importantly, your human right is to stand before those who accuse you. And so you have a right to be arrested, but not be held in jail with excessive bail. You have a right to an attorney. You have a right to the evidence. You have a right to know who's accusing you. You have a right to know the charges against you. You have a right. You have a right to have a jury of your peers. You have a right to not be placed in double jeopardy. And you know what? A right that we have forgotten. We, the people, have a right to jury nullification, meaning that if we, the jury, feel like the Chattanooga Police Department is targeting people and charging them for crimes that we, the people, don't agree with, we as the jury can participate in nullification, meaning that we can set a person free because they're being charged with time that does not match the crime. Perfect example of that is that if you get caught with a pound of weed and they want to put you in jail for 10 years because of that, if we feel like, well, that's too long, that's a nonviolent crime, you didn't kill anybody, nobody was murdered, nobody was injured, and you decide, well, we just want to set this person free, the people have the power to even nullify the law. As a matter of fact, in his letter from a Birmingham jail, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we have a responsibility to break unjust laws. That is our responsibility. In his letters from a Birmingham jail that was written to the clergy. Family, of course, they dismissed the charges because the people are tired and the people are rising up and the people are speaking out and the people are protesting and the people are marching. And I'm not talking about just the people who we like. I'm also talking about the people outside of the African American community. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to the people.
Marie, you hit my hot buttons.
All
They're
right.
actually not laws. They're statutes made by man. The only laws are the 10 Commandments. They're the laws. But what's great about jury nullification or jury lawlessness is that even if the state has proven its case as a matter of fact, it could be nullified in that instance. And the prosecutor wants to fool the jury in believing that that law will be nullified, that statute. It won't be. It's just in that case. And the judge will threaten to hold you in contempt of court if you even bring up the term jury lawlessness or jury nullification. That's how corrupt our system is. It is a check and balance. The original jury was 25,000 people. It went down to 12,000 for the 12 apostles, and now we have 12. Thank you, Murray.
No problem. Yeah, I gotta bring the people back and educate the others. But we have a responsibility. See, again, I have to reiterate this, and some things you have to repeat because we won't remember it if we do not, because I'm telling you, I never heard about jury nullification in school. Never in my life. We didn't go through any of the Constitution, the state Constitution or the federal Constitution. None of that. None. Why is it important that we don't know our rights, that we're left ignorant intentionally? And then in particular, in a system and in a country and in this state where we have privatized prisons, an issue Reverend Cobb was talking about on yesterday, where going into the prisons, we have women sitting in their menstrual blood, not even being given things as simple as sanitary napkins. And in my arrest last year, I quickly saw for myself what goes on not only in the county jail, but also in Silverdale. Because, again, for maybe people who don't know, if the jail begins to get overcrowded, they cart you off to where they hold people who are who many of them have not even seen a judge. And if you don't make bail, you're added into the jail population, even though you have not been found guilty of a crime. And in what shape, form, or fashion is this constitutional? Nobody asked if I'd take medicine when I went to jail. Nobody asked if I had mental health issues, if I was suicidal. Nobody asked when's the last time I ate? Do I need to eat? Am I diabetic? No questions. Nothing like that. There's no heat in the jail. Because it was around this time. Cold, concrete, cold. No help. None. And in the middle, after being there for several hours, somebody came and put me in handcuffs with several other women, tossed us in the back of a van, didn't tell us where they were taking us or why. No explanation. And after a 20-minute drive, I find myself exiting a van and I'm at CCA CoreCivic Silverdale. And for what? I'm not a criminal. I've only been accused. An accusation. First time ever in trouble. My bail is $10,500. And here it is last year. You know, I've read these stories so much, followed so much stuff going on. Last year, Justin Whaley, who killed the man on Highway 111 because he was drinking behind the wheel, got a special hearing after he killed somebody at the wheel. He not only got to leave the scene, he got to turn himself in 2 months later. And then after he turned himself in, he got a special hearing to reduce his bail. And he killed somebody. And nobody reduced my bail. And I ain't killed nobody. I didn't get the luxury of 2 months before I got to turn myself in. The hypocrisy. Family, nothing is going to change the way they're doing things unless the people get tired and we fight back. I'm telling you. How crazy is it for you to get beaten by police officers and you get charged with a crime? But if you go back and you look at the early 1960 speeches of Malcolm X, he talks about this in the 60s. How even in New York and in Watts, California, people were getting shot and they were dead and they were being charged with a crime. How are you the victim and you get charged with a crime, but the police officers never find their way into a jail? I don't understand that. And how many videos of grown men, women, or children will we have to watch before we get so tired of this? How many videos? How many times are we going to have to request body cam footage? How many? How many more people have to be added to the bloody catalog of just the Chattanooga Police Department alone? That's not even taking into account the people who die in our jails and the fact that we just came out of December while everybody thought that they were praising the birth of Christ. That there were 2 families that would have to bury their family members because they died in the jail. And as much as this council wants to pretend and people want to pretend and the district attorney wants to pretend like they're for the people and they're interested in social justice, not one of them. The mayor who even tweeted about this thing that happened to Mr. Wolf, I didn't see the mayor tweet about one black soul, one black body that died in the Hamilton County Jail. Didn't see that from the city council persons. Nobody talked about that. Not one person. Jim Carpenter didn't talk about it. Kathleen Jeter didn't talk about it. I didn't see Warren Mackey say anything about it. Sharp, none of them. Not one. Yeah, I'm gonna be tough. I'm gonna be tough, and I'm gonna be especially tough when people saying that they represent black people and people of color. I'm gonna be super tough on you. Not one of you have opened up your mouth about anything. I don't think I saw on any of your social medias you even sharing the GoFundMe so this family could bury Devontae Allison. Family, 2019 will be over before we know it. And I'm telling you, these folks, because they've sat and they've allowed so much evil, so much wrongdoing, so many atrocities, they know that their reputation and their careers and their political careers, they know that their seats are in jeopardy. They know that their political careers are in the toilet. They know that their credibility is of nothing. They know it. And so now you're going to see people who wouldn't open up their mouth to give water or a sandwich to a homeless person on the street that they got to step over to come out of city council or come out of the mayor's office. Now you're going to see them pretend like they care. And the truth of the matter is that when you with the people, you with the people all the way. I don't understand. I do not comprehend double dutching. You with the people today, but you with the developers tomorrow. You're with the people today, but tomorrow you're with the mayor. He ain't for the people. I mean, I woke up to another article this morning of more lofts and high-end condominiums being built. And right now, we don't have enough housing for people as it is. Nobody's talking about low income or affordable housing at all. And yet and still we have people building condominiums and lofts that are already sitting empty, the ones that are already completed. How is that anything but criminal, knowing that we have people right now in the freezing cold simply because they cannot afford housing? Not because they don't want housing, not because they don't work, but because it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Never in my life have I seen a situation where it's not enough housing, but we're going to continue to build more housing, but make it outside of the reach of people, everyday working class people. That makes no sense. Can somebody call me and tell me how that makes sense? 423-800-8949. That, to me, that's insane. That's insanity. If nobody is buying the high-end lofts and condominiums already, why are we building more? Who's coming here? Nobody here is really buying them. And why would people come to this city if they look and see the police beating on people, killing people, people dying in our jails? We have no diversity as far as our job market. The average person is a working slave. Who's coming to Chattanooga? And for the people who did buy into the beauty, how many of them are probably going to stay with all of this foolishness going on? Funny thing is, and shout out to Zach Peterson for this story. January 23rd, 2019, internal complaints allege lying, pranking, excessive force by Chattanooga police officer under investigation for punching a man at the traffic stop. Files show every available complaint against Piazza since he joined the department in 2013, where he worked as a DUI patrol officer and in the Neighborhood Policing Bureau and Street Crimes Response Team. Piazza was first accused of excessive force in June 2015 by a 41-year-old man whom he arrested for criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. Accused of excessive force in 2015. That sounds very vaguely familiar. Women came forward with rape allegations against Desmond Logan, and that first accusation of rape against this officer was in 2015. Interesting. Video and medical records from the Hamilton County Jail backed up Piazza when they didn't reveal any injuries or violence. The files show, according to them. The files show more serious incidents in 2016. But the interesting thing is, during the probe of that 2015 case of excessive force, investigators learned Piazza never turned on his camera during the incident, which is a violation of department policy. So in 2016, I guess because he figured, well, I don't have any disciplinary action, he was given a verbal reprimand for not turning on his body cam, of which a person ended up getting beaten. Folks, community control. That's all I can say. Community control. Until we decide to fight back, whatever that looks like. At this point, self-defense, community oversight board, whatever that looks like, calling for the closing of the Chattanooga Police Department as a whole, because this is ridiculous. They have absolutely run amok and done it under the banner and the support of a sheriff. But I guess, what do I expect? If the sheriff is bringing cocaine into Hamilton County, I can't expect him to be on the righteous side of the law either. And if he seems to have no problem with people getting beaten in handcuffs, I guess I shouldn't expect anything from him either. Is this America? Is this a third world country? My Lord. People dying in our jails. People being beaten, unarmed. Y'all know what it is. Marine Mott with the Marine Mott Show. If no one is taking the time today to tell you that they love you, I love you. There's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Community control now.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's News now.
A pregnant woman hit by gunfire last night in an apparent drive-by shooting. The CPD says it happened on Anderson Avenue just after 11 p.m. last night. The Violent Crimes Bureau is still investigating. So far, no arrests have been made, and there's no word on the condition of the victim or the unborn child. Hamilton County Schools not in session today as fears of icy weather in the early morning hours prompted the shutdown. Schools in Grundy and Marion County, though, closed down for a different reason. There's been a mass absence due to illness. Many kids in the area have the flu, and they closed the schools down for the rest of the week. Hamilton County schools, though, should be back in session tomorrow. And Willie Boyd, who was on the TBI's 10 most wanted list, is now behind bars. He was wanted on murder charges in connection to the killing of Jacob Moore, whose skeletal remains were found by hunters on Benton Mountain. Val St. John for Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
The first responders. These are the men and women who put themselves in harm's way for us. And here at Nooga Radio, we want to do our part to say thank you. On Nooga Radio, every Friday is First Responder Friday. This Friday, we salute Chief Charles Dude Harris of the Highway 58 Fire Department for going above and beyond in the line of duty. If you see Chief Harris, tell him thank you. We'll honor a first responder with a thank you gift from Nooga Radio's community partners. If there's a first responder you'd like us to honor, go to NoogaRadio.com and submit your nomination. First Responder Friday, sponsored by Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, Mad Philly, New York Pizza Department, and Nooga Radio.
I'm always watching the Travel Channel. There was this one episode shot in the Mediterranean one night. It caught my eye. And the food, wow, definitely wanted to try some of that. Luckily, I didn't need to go halfway around the world. I found Olive Branch Mediterranean foods right here in East Ridge. East Ridge. They were telling me how the menu's made fresh daily. It's authentic and it's so delicious. Your next culinary trip, not halfway around the world. It's right here, waiting for you at home.
Visit Olive Branch Mediterranean Foods, 3992 Ringgold Road.
If an uncertain economy and runaway stock market is